Okay, we're here with a 1,000 point battle, Bretonnians versus the Empire. This is our first, Ivers in my first game playing either of these, so there's going to be lots of mistakes. The board is set up with a normal house, or normal building I guess, a fence, and that little thing's an idol of Mork or possibly Gork. We actually got 4 regular hills, believe it or not, so each of these corners is accurate. Over here is just a mysterious forest, and it's a really pretty boring game for terrain. So, starting with my Bretonnians, I've got 10 peasant bowmen over here with their defensive stakes, 3 Pegasus Knights. I've got 8 Knights of the Realm and the BSB right down there, and these guys are only partially painted. In the back here, I have a trebuchet, and in front of them is a group of men-at-arms, and because I haven't bought a damsel yet, I have a necromancer standing in for the beautiful damsel. And over here, I've got 10 more peasant bowmen, and I'm proxying some sword masters of Hoth as them. Ivor, what do you have on your side?
Handgunners with repeater handgun.
Okay.
And musician. Halberdiers, battle standard bearer, archlector of Sigmar, level 2 wizard metal.
Okay.
Great cannon, pistoliers, mortar.
And a mortar up in the corner. So the board kind of looks like this. We're playing, I didn't mention, we're playing the dawn attack scenario, so that really dictated deployment. But it didn't go too bad for either one of us. We each have some vanguard movement to correct it. Bretonnians won the roll to go first, but they took a knee. They're praying, so the Empire will go first, and we'll come back after first turn. Okay, painful turn. Oh, by the way, I'm trying this with the new iPhone, the stabilization. So if this is really bouncy, I apologize, but it's supposed to be more stable than my previous iPhone. Okay, so the end of Empire turn 1, pretty painful for the Bretonnians. Vanguard movement saw these. What kind of horse guys are those?
Pistoliers.
Pistoliers move up. They shot. Moved on the flank of the Knights of the Realm. Shot and killed one. The mortar took a shot and landed right on top of the men-at-arms, killing 5. Not hitting the damsel or anything, though. And the trebuchet took a hit right over the men-at-arms and exploded. Took 6 wounds and just exploded. So I still have yet to use the guy. Now we're going into Bretonnian turn 1. Okay, end of Bretonnia turn 1. Knights of the Realm booked it out of there. They didn't want to get flanked. The men-at-arms and the damsel pivoted to, basically take a charge. These bowmen moved up and abandoned their defensive stakes, and these bowmen on the corners pivoted so that they could actually shoot those guys, so there are no more stakes around. The Pegasus Knights moved up and are kind of angled at the mortar down here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the cannon. During the magic phase, I was actually outnumbered in Dispel dice, so I tried to catch, I 2-diced regeneration on the men-at-arms. At this point, I accidentally covered the microphone with my thumb. What I was saying is that I irresistibly cast Flesh to Stone on the Knights of the Realm. When the miscast went off, it drained my damsel of her wizard levels. But it didn't explode, which could have been a little bit worse. And finally, my peasant bowmen were able to kill one of the pistoliers. End of the Empire turn 2. In movement, the Knights of the Realm are getting kind of pestered by these pistoliers. In other movement, we really just had your halberdiers kind of moved, getting ready for a charge coming in. Just some pivots by the war machines as well. Nothing too major. During the magic phase, failed to cast. Well, what did you cast in magic phase, Ivor?
Unbending Righteousness. The unit of halberdiers is unbreakable.
Ah, that's right. That was the only thing that got cast. Was the other one was dispelled. That remains in play. During the shooting phase, all the wounds were saved on the Knights of the Realm from the pistoliers. And what are you guys in the back? The rifle handgunners actually killed 3 peasant bowmen. And there's no close combat, so now we're going into Bretonnia turn 2. Okay, end of the Bretonnian turn. With some crappy shooting and some bad charge distances, the Knights of the Realm did not make it into combat. The Peg Knights did, and were able to dish out 2 wounds to the cannon in the back, but it held. right next to the BSB helped. The peasant bowmen he took some shots at the pistoliers, but didn't do any wounds as was expected. And the men-at-arms just kind of had to use all their movement to reform. So now we're going to go into Empire turn 3. End of the Empire's turn. We had a charge attempt by the halberdiers, and the Knights of the Realm fled. The pistolier guys just kind of moved in behind, or kind of just being a pain in the butt. They shot during the shooting phase and ended up killing 2 knights, which is very sad. During the shooting phase, the mortar up in the corner there missed the men-at-arms. Handgunners killed 2 peasant bowmen. And during the magic phase, Searing Doom was dispelled, but pretty much everything else that managed to buff up your halberdiers went off, which was making them unbreakable, giving them Scaly Skin 5+. And that's pretty much all the Empire's turn. Now we're going to go into Bretonnia's. Very quick Bretonnia turn. Knights of the Realm failed to rally. They only moved 4 inches out, so they're still on the board. We was just within charge range for the men-at-arms, and they charged the pistoliers, who fled, and then were surprisingly shot down by the really crappy peasant bowmen. But they earned their points. That was very fun. 4 wounds, pretty great. During magic, I just dispelled the one thing I could, which made which granted the halberdiers being unbreakable and immune psychology and all that. That was dispelled. And during close combat, the Pegasus Knights managed to finish off the cannon, and then they reformed. That's about it. We're going to go into, this is probably turn 4 for Empire. Okay, end of the Empire's turn. For movement, halberdiers kind of turned to face where the Peg Knights used to be. That's about it for movement. During the magic phase, the caster tried to cast the souped-up version of Searing Doom, and did 5 wounds, and on 5 dice I rolled 4 6s for the Blessing of the Lady, so that was pretty great. However, one of them ended up dying because he had a wounded on him, and I failed my leadership test, and he panicked off the board. So all that for nothing. That is a little bit of shooting that didn't do anything from the guys in the corner. The mortar missed again. So now we're going on to the Bretonnian turn. Not looking good for the boys from Bretonnia. An uneventful Bretonnia turn. Knights of the Realm rallied. Peasant bowmen moved up. The men-at-arms also moved up. And there was some shooting from these eligible peasant bowmen at the halberdiers, and no wounds. Just trying to get back into the fight. Going into Empire turn 5 or 6, I think. During the Empire's turn, the mortar shot and killed 4 of the men-at-arms. One of the peasant bowmen was shot by the guys in the back. And, well, that's really about it.
On the Knights.
Oh, yeah, Searing Doom on the Knights sadly killed 3 Knights of the Realm. Very painful. These guys are taking a pounding. Now we're going into Bretonnia. What's else to Bretonnia's turn? The funny thing about having few units is that the turns go really fast. The Knights decided just to try the dangerous terrain. They're going to try to go after and clean up that mortar if they can. These peasant bowmen turned to face the mortar. I don't think the men-at-arms moved at all. And these guys shot and killed one of the rifle guys in the corner. Now we're going on to the last Empire turn. So end of Empire turn, again pretty quick. The halberdiers charged the men-at-arms who fled. They're going to have to rally here. At this turn, they have to. Mortar missed, and the pistol guys in the back actually killed 4 of these peasant bowmen and broke them, so that guy's fleeing as well. And go on to the final Bretonnian turn. So at the end of the game, the Bretonnians, the Knights managed to just barely made the charge and killed the mortar up on the hill. Men-at-arms rallied, but this guy didn't. And that's pretty much the way that the board looks at the end. The final score, 712 to 660, so a draw. Again, got to win by 100, but Empire came out ahead. It was pretty terrifying and scary introduction to both of these guys, but it's a good game.